for me, this is like a cry out of the people of for that region, calling for a change, a totally change in Nicaragua, a total political system in Nicaragua.
Good afternoon, welcome to another edition of the Forum 2000 online chat. Today we are here with Cristiana Chamorro from Nicaragua. She is the founder and director of the Violeta Chamorro Foundation, which aims to defend the freedom of expression and access to public information. Hi Cristiana, thank you for joining us today.
Hi, thank you for having Nicaragua in your mind. Thank you.
I would like to ask you about the hurricanes which hit Central America last month. There were two major hurricanes in just 2 weeks, and Nicaragua is one of the most affected countries, and this was probably one of the worst natural disasters in Central America, which left tens of thousands of people without their homes, without access to clean water. So can you tell us more about the extent and the consequences of this humanitarian crisis?
Yes. Yeah, thank you very much. Yes, the few structures that we had in that region on the Atlantic coast were totally devastated. And for me, this is like a cry out of the people of for that region, calling for a change, a totally change in Nicaragua, a total political system in Nicaragua. And the worst, well, we can see two sides of one beautiful side, which is the church, the civic society, the volunteers, and all Nicaraguan went to start trying to help them and to rebuild them. But on the other side, we have a government that didn't show up his face, and also started controlling all the aid that was going on to the Atlantic coast. We are happy that the international community reacted and also supported those places. But right now, what we are thinking is that we shouldn't rebuild on the same structures, because we have to rebuild that in new structures, because otherwise another hurricane will pass through and devastate them. The consequences to Nicaragua are very high. There are people who lost all their houses or their shelters. They need a lot of help about food, about everything to rebuild on the region. And also, I think that we need a new new public policies to defend the environment around, in order that if we have some other hurricanes in the future, they will not be that hard as they were in this case.
Well, the climate change certainly plays a role in the increasing number of the hurricanes in the region. So in general, what is the approach of Nicaraguan government towards the climate change and to tackle this issue in order to avoid any future disasters?
The government doesn't have any public policy toward anything. The policy that they have is to use the forces, the police forces, to repress the people. They are not governed. There is no government really in Nicaragua. What we have is a system of repression to maintain the people under control. You see, of course, they have tried to maintain the economy in some way, but they do not have response for things like this one, or for example, for the pandemic also. For the pandemic here, you don't have any information at all what's going on. And at the beginning, they were denying the pandemic challenge. And we know that here we have had a lot of people who have died, but we don't know, and they do not show up, the the numbers about what have happened. So it is the same case with the hurricane, and it is the same case with all things that matter relation to public policy, education, health, and everything.
And has the response of the other countries affected by the hurricanes in Central America been different or better? Are there any different approaches?
I think, no, okay. I think Nicaragua and Honduras were the worst countries that affected by the hurricane, because we have a lot of land, a lot of regions on the Atlantic coast. And the problem in Nicaragua is a structural problem that we hadn't make a unity from the Atlantic with the Pacific coast, and so those people are still very marginalized people, and you feel that that's another country, and this is something that we have to repair in the future. That's why I said at the beginning that this was like a cry, like a call to action, to start thinking in unity, in the unification of the country, because that region is a region that offers a lot to our country, but because problems of communications and they have been like they things like it is another country. They have their own language. They speak differently, and that is the situation. And in the next government, we will change that situation, I guess.
Well, hopefully. And what humanitarian assistance is Nicaragua receiving these days? And what humanitarian assistance is Nicaragua receiving now?
Yes, we receive, and the government received some humanitarian aid from the FME, from different organizations, and we have seen that some of them are under control, not from the government, but they are very well conditioned to be applied to the situation, and of course we as Nicaraguans are glad, because I know that we cannot go ahead without support of the international community and also from the local community. The beautiful thing is that those people have a lot of resilience within them, and they have a spirit a spirit to rebuild, and a spirit to go ahead, and the church, as I told you, the civic society, volunteers, people from the regions, different forces of the opposition, they all together work for them and have brought some help and some hope to their situation.
And would you say there still is any risk of the humanitarian aid being manipulated by government, or any risk of corruption, or maybe unequal distribution?
That's a big risk. That's a big risk, and we know that there are some help, some aid that it is distributed by the forces of the Sandinista, and they are very sectarian. If you belong to the party, or if you do this, or you will receive it or you will not. I don't know about exactly, but I cannot say that there have been corruption about, because I hope that the donors are very well aware whom they are given to, and they have designed their own way to control that. You see, I don't know, but I hope that the aid comes to them.
And one more thing that may be a consequences of this and destruction caused by the hurricanes is the migration, because the migration has already been a serious problem in Central America. So what do you think we can expect here? And maybe what are the conditions of the migrants in these conditions?
Yes, yeah, you know that, well, the hurricane and the economic and the political situation that have in some way hurt our economical situation has had forced a lot of people to look forward to go away from Nicaragua, and that is a big risk, is a big problem because we are, you know, most of the talented people are seeing that here they don't have future, and so they are looking forward how to live. Also, most of the very poor people found that they don't have employment here, and that this situation, you know, if you sit down here, you don't see, you can foresee the future, or you cannot see the light still. But I'm very optimistic always, and I think that we will turn on the lights in some way, sometimes, you know. But there are people who are desperate and are looking forward with their friends, and they are going to the States or to the Central American countries who are offering them jobs, like in Costa Rica for the coffee crops, or Guatemala, or places like that, and they come back. But you know, it has a very strong effects on this on families, that they are divided, and the children grow up without a family, or parent, mother and father, and things like that.
And what do you think are the basic things that needs to happen for the international community to pressure more on the Nicaraguan regime, on the dictatorship?
Yes, I think that it's very important to have Nicaragua on the public agenda, on the international agenda, because Nicaragua is in the center of Central America. It's also a country that is in the middle of the North and South America, and whatever happens here will affect the other countries. And you know, those countries in Central America will be stronger and will be, you know, more developed, and that if we work in unity, and that we work as a region in some way. And here everything is, you know, this government, for example, doesn't have relations with the others, or the others are, you know, with another sense of what's going here. I think that as I'm saying, the international community should have a lot of put their attention to Nicaragua and treat Nicaragua as a unique situation, not comparing with Venezuela or Cuba, because we are totally different. And in Nicaragua, I think it would be easy to get off or to release from Ortega if we really get enough pressure to reform electoral conditions. And if we have electoral conditions, at least minimum electoral conditions, we will win. And we will win with more than 60% if we're going in unity. And we will have a chance to rebuild our democracy in Nicaragua.
And do you think these conditions can be met by the next elections that are planned for 2021?
Well, we are working to get that conditions, you know. We are expecting, we're expecting May. In May, in May we need to have, you know, the rule of law, what our rules will be, to see if those elections that are coming will be will offer some legitimacy or not, will be safe or not, will bring an opportunity to everybody to vote or not. We have to measure that, and I said May because it is the calendar period of the electoral calendar starts in that month. And also, I heard that the OES will have some or is looking for some understanding about some rules for the elections, and they will have it in May.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for explaining us what's going on in Nicaragua now, Cristiana. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Martina. Hope to see you again without pandemic.